Okay, George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape. Today we're going to talk about, so how do you create wealth today? Okay, if you look around, you'll notice most people, most wealthy people have multiple streams of income. There's several reasons for this, such as if you only have one business and it only makes a certain amount of money, let's just take lawn care for example, then you're only going to make a certain amount of money unless you expand your business. So let's just take a look at this. If you have lawn care, right here, it's only going to make you a certain amount of money, right? I mean, you're not going to just, most people don't get rich at just having that unless you build a massive company, okay? Then you make some serious cash, okay? And that's expansion, all right? And with that comes a whole series of things, you know, the hiring the employees and so on and so forth. And it can become quite a headache, but at the same time, it's still worth it because you can make decent money at it if you're doing everything right, okay? Now, let's say you have other streams of business, okay? Other streams of revenue, okay? For example, let's say not just lawn care that you have, let's say maybe you do some snow removal. I know there's a lot of guys that go out there and they do snow removal and they make good money at it, especially the farther north you get, obviously, you know. So when you do that, this is what I call my funnel, okay? And you guys have probably heard this before about creating a funnel to bring things into your business. When I talk about these things, I'm telling you this because of my experience. I'm not telling you this because I learned it from someone else. I mean, I did learn these things from someone else, I guess, but I'm trying to tell you what I've done with what I've learned. What I've done with what I've learned in my life, okay? So, create a funnel like this, all right? Now, you make more money, right? Because you have two different businesses going on here. Comes with all kinds of risk. Every one of them does. You could have risk in lawn care. You could go out. I've seen guys go out and spend $20,000 in gear and go out and lose their butt in the first year. So, there's risk with anything. And I've seen other guys that go out there and they start with next to nothing and build multi-million-dollar companies, all right? So it's all up to the individual and how you run your business. But just for the purpose of this video, let's focus on these things, the things that you can do. All right, and I'm just gonna look at my own life. I'm gonna look at the things that I've done. So let's say now we've created this and we've got two businesses going. Now I have two streams of income coming in instead of just the one. And especially where I live, that's difficult because when you're here in Wisconsin and you only have 6 months to make your money, the more streams of income you can have coming in during that time, obviously the better off you're going to be. All right? So let's say now you start making some money. Here's what you want to do. You want to take a little of that money and you want to set it aside, okay? So you got a little bit here. You don't have a lot. Now snow's coming in. Hopefully you'll be able to put aside a little bit of money here. Now, maybe what we want to do is open up a landscape company. Maybe we want to just start landscaping, okay? What happens with landscaping? Well, there generally is pretty decent money in landscaping, okay? If you do everything right. You can lose your butt in landscaping too. I knew guys that came into the business and just didn't know what they were doing in that same kind of scenario. They go buy a new skid steer, a new power rake, a new backhoe. They come in here and they lose their butt because they don't make enough money during the summer months that when the winter months roll around, they can't make the payments and the bank comes and takes everything. So there are risks with every single one of these businesses, okay? So, but for the purpose of the video, stay focused on this funnel. So now, if I would have just stayed in lawn care, I would have been nice and safe and everything would have been fine, no worries, no headaches, no nothing, right? Baloney, there's always headaches. I don't care what business you're in. Snow removal, for me here in Wisconsin, one of the worst businesses you could be in, at least for me. Landscaping, make good money at landscaping, okay? But we've been at it for 20 plus years, okay? But it's another added stream of revenue that we have put in, okay? Now, let's say besides that, now we went and we started a vape shop. What did the vape shop do? Well, made us money, right? Got the vape shop going, it's another source of revenue. That revenue comes in 12 months out of the year. What did we do this year? Because that made decent money, we tested the model, the shop worked fine, we added a second shop. Money. Year-round money coming in. See what's happening. Follow the dollar signs. Notice they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger because more and more money is coming into the business. All right? Now, we went a step beyond that. Actually, started a pest control company. Called Mosquito Police. Right there, for example. We started that. What did that do? Generated money, right? Generates money. Now, not only did we do that, but we franchised the business. Because our model works so well, we franchised it. What does that mean? Yet another source of income, right? Yet another source of income. So, what do you gather from all of this? I could have stayed in lawn care, and I could have made money and continued doing that, but I'm only going to make so much money. I wasn't comfortable with where my wealth level was, okay? Therefore, I had to change things up. So I changed them up. What did I do? Well, I got into snow removal, okay? Then I got into landscaping, right? Then I got into a vape shop, then a second vape shop, then pest control. Then we franchised the pest control business. So I have my hat in a lot of different rings, okay? So I have different streams of revenue coming in. There's a good reason for this. If the economy fails, and I was involved in the last time the economy took a dive and went in the crapper, and it was horrible. It was horrible. There was no landscaping. At the time, I didn't have the vape shop or any of this stuff either. But at the time, I had these three right here. Well, when the money got tight, when the economy hit the low, and we hit the recession, nobody was landscaping. So I wasn't making good money here at all. Snow removal, they had to do it because they have to get in and out so they can get to their jobs. So they had to pay us, and that's about the only way you got money. Same thing with lawn care. Somebody had to cut the lawn, so you still got paid for that. So these were my bread and butters, and these stayed because these are staples. This is constant money coming in. If everything else fails, I still have this. It actually is. It reminds me of the stock market. I have a stockbroker that years ago told me, he's like, you got to differentiate all your different stocks. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So if you have $1,000 to spend, put 200 in this one, 200 in that one, 200 in that one, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that you don't have all your eggs in this one basket right here. Because if that stock fails, you fail. Okay, follow that? If that stock were to fail, and that's where you put all your money in, $1,000 in that stock, it would fail, you fail. Right? So, put a little here, a little here, a little here, a little here. End of the day, this one might make some money, you might lose some money. This one will make some money, you might lose some money. But at the end of the day, hopefully, you come out with a decent amount of money out of it. So that's kind of how the stock market works. It's kind of the same with business, all right? So that being said, most wealthy people today have several streams of revenue coming in, okay? Some make okay money, while others make really good money. You know, you will fail from time to time, but that's okay. There's businesses that I was in that I failed. So I get it. I totally get it. You're never going to win at every single business. But know this, if you chance nothing, then you most assuredly will gain nothing. Okay? This is where most people fail to get the amount of income they desire. Simply because they're afraid to risk anything. I'm going to give you an example of Kmart. I worked for Kmart for 13 years. Okay? I couldn't afford to give my wife a nice ring when I married her. We were dirt broke, poor, okay? I could not afford to give her that ring at all. So what I did is I went and got a used one somewhere at a rummage sale. I found it. That was the ring I used. I think I paid 20 or 30 bucks for this ring. I didn't even know if it was real gold. I have no idea. I doubt it. But I gave it to my wife because that's all we had, okay? Now, I worked for Kmart for 13 years. Now, I want to tell you what Kmart did to me. So Kmart called me in one day. I was a loss control manager for Kmart. So, I would bust shoplifters and internal theft of employees and things like that. Well, They brought us in one day after Christmas, and it was the day after Christmas for me specifically. And what it was, and I should back the story up. Okay, so because my wife didn't have this fancy ring, so for all those years, I was always going to get her a nice ring, and I had saved and saved and saved. And so finally this one year, I went and I bought her this really nice ring. And I can't remember what I paid for, but it was a lot of money. It was every dime we had, pretty much, which was, in hindsight, a foolish thing to do. But you'll see that as we go. So I bought her this ring. I gave it to her for Christmas. She was so happy. And I was like, there, now you have a ring like all your friends have and everything, and it's nice and it's pretty, and, because I love her, So anyway, that being said, the day after Christmas, Kmart called me in the office, and they fired me. They fired every loss control manager in the company on that day. Okay? I was devastated. I had never been fired from a job in my life. I had no idea what I was going to do. I'm like, oh my God, how do I go home and tell my wife I just spent everything we had in our savings? Okay? I did not know how I was going to do that. I still, to this day, I just want to cry just thinking about how bad it was. But anyway, I said to myself, I will never again let corporate America have control of my life, have control of my destiny, okay? So, what did we do? I'll tell you what we did. We started this lawn control business, okay? And we saved every penny we could so that we could use that money in another business, okay? That's what we did. And we didn't have much to spare, let me tell you, because we weren't making much. I would like to do a whole series on this, and I'd like to do that as we go on the money thing. And if you guys would like for me to do this, I'd like to show you this because I do want you guys to succeed. But what we did then, say we got into snow plowing. If we could put any money aside, every little bit we did. We put it aside, we saved. When everyone else was out spending and going to the tavern and blowing their money and going to movies and going out to eat, we were saving our money. We were sitting home eating bologna, okay? So now we took that money, invested it in landscaping equipment. Once we started making better money there, we had more money to spend. Well, what did we do? We could have went and spent it. We could have went and bought new trucks and all kinds of new things, but we didn't. What we did, we started into different things here. And we just continued to go and continued to go. So what did we do? We said to ourselves, hey, we want something better for our life. When Kmart did that to me, it devastated me. Never again am I going to let anybody have that kind of control on me. And you shouldn't either. Are there risks involved? Absolutely there's risk involved. There's risk involved in every single business you do, you guys. But you have got to risk something to gain something, okay? You have to do that. I know so many people that, I know this one guy, I'm just going to tell you a story real quick. I know this guy that had a good business. He was making really good money. But then he was finding out, he worked for these farmers and he did some things for them, cattle hoof trimming stuff. He was making good money, really good money. Well, all of a sudden, the farmers wanted more cows done per hour than what he could do, okay? Just because he was so articulate. He just took his time, and every little crack and crevice, he was making sure they were clean and scraped out nice and treated, and he really cared about what he was doing. But he wasn't listening to the farmer. The farmer was telling him to, hey, get moving. You come here and you do 13 cows a day or 15 cows a day, and I got guys that come in here and do 50 cows a day. Who did he hire? The guys that do 50 cows a day. So I mentioned to this guy when this was going on, I said, listen, forget about being so perfect in everything. Give them what they want. Give them what they want. You will continue to stay in business and you'll flourish. He didn't do that. He stayed doing this articulate work that he was doing on these cattle hooves. And at the end of the day, all the farmers left him. Okay? So that's just one example. I have other guys tell me, and this was a business that I bought out actually. And it was a lawn care company. And everyone loved this guy. Everybody just loved him. And I found out why shortly after I took over his accounts. When I went there, we would go in, bam, 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 we're done in 10 minutes with the lawn. The truck is packed up. The customer would come outside complaining that we didn't clean the eave gutters, the rain gutters out. we didn't pull weeds in the beds. And we're like, well, ma'am, we just mow your grass. That's all you hired us for. Well, Johnny used to do this all the time. And I'm like, oh no. And I was starting to hear it from all kinds of customers that he would spend between a half an hour and 45 minutes on every property. This is why the guy sold his business, because he wasn't making any money. He was so articulate and he wanted to please them so much that you can literally overspend your time there. That's a whole nother video. I got to stay focused on this stuff, you guys. All right, guys. So, a few of the things that I want you to take away from this video. When you get into lawn care, unless you're in a huge metropolitan area where you can continue to build it and continue to build it, you maybe should be looking at other streams of revenue. When you wonder about having a lawn care business where it's seasonal, you may want to think about having other things to put your money into, okay? So, not that I know everything there is to know about this business, but I have learned a lot of things over the years, you guys. I would like to see all of you lawn care guys succeed. That's why I started this business in the first place. And at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Okay? Now, I would like to ask you guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like me to do more of these type videos, demonstrating to you, explaining how the money thing works, how building wealth works, if you'd like to see more of those things, let me know down below. If you want me to just hop on a mower and run around the yard and put that on a video for you, let me know. Whatever you guys want. I want to see you succeed. That's the bottom line. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, hit the like button down below. Thank you.